This story time could get me arrested. Hey guys, it's Sammy, and today, yes, you read the title correctly. Today I'm going to be telling you the story of how I snuck into a sold-out Panic at the Disco concert. If you go back on my channel, there is a vlog where I said this. Look at this. And today is that video where I explain this. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Disclaimer, if I could end up getting arrested for this is me saying that this is not real. This is a fake story. As you guys know, Panic at the Disco is one of my most favorite bands in the whole entire world, and I found out about 3 weeks before they were gonna be coming to my city that they were coming to my city, and I freaked out. I found out about it by hearing on the radio that this radio station was giving away tickets because the show was already sold out. So I spent a whole week, every single day, trying to win tickets to see Panic at the Disco, and I didn't win. I called every single time and I did not win, and I was devastated. After I didn't win tickets, I was like so devastated, and I was Googling like how to get into a sold out concert. I read an article about a girl that snuck into a Bon Iver concert, and I was like, that's interesting. So fast forward to 3 days before the concert. I'm like, I have to go. So I formulate this whole idea. So I decide, okay, we're doing this. We are getting into this Panic at the Disco concert. I didn't know if it was illegal. I didn't know if it was wrong. I just knew that I was gonna do it. So I go on to Photoshop and I Photoshop a press pass. I literally Googled press pass and I put my photo on it, I put my real name on it, and I put a Spotify logo and a QR code that scans to a Spotify profile. And I basically made it so I have a press pass that says I work for Spotify. I wasn't even sure if Spotify was going to be at this event or anything. I just knew that everyone knew who Spotify was, so it sounded legit. That's the press pass. I also made one for my roommate, but she has hers hanging in her car as a souvenir because this was the craziest thing we ever did. I make these press passes and I don't have a printer, so I go to Office Max and I have to go and ask him to print out these obviously fake press passes. And I bought the holder from Office Max as well, so it was all really sketchy, but I managed to get these finished literally 2 hours before the concert was going to start. So me and Monique ran to Office Max, picked these up. So we were trying to look more adult because obviously I do not look like a professional person at all. So we wore all black and we wore black polo shirts and professional looking outfits that we all bought at Goodwill. We didn't wash them before we wear them, which is kind of gross, but I got to see Brendan Urie, so does it really matter? And we show up at the arena. Luckily, I had been to a concert at this arena multiple times in the past. I saw Gaga there, I saw Miley Cyrus there, so I kind of know the arena. And this is where things start to get crazy. So we park quite far from the venue and we walk up into the no access staff zone because when you're on foot, it's really easier to get into like outside special parking lot areas. And we walk up to the area where the tour buses are, and there's a side entrance for staff. This is actually our first mistake. This was for the concert venue staff, not the staff that are like hosting and featuring content for the event. So this was for like security guards and like hot dog selling concert food people. So before we even went up to someone, me and my roommate had a plan. Our plan was that we are assistants for our manager at Spotify, in which I took Jacob. You guys know Jacob. Here's his channel. Go check him out. We made his phone number contact in our phone. We made his name like Jeff Willingberg, and we like put a picture of like some professional old guy, and we like pretended he was our boss so that if they did question us, we could like call him and be like, hey, like we're out here and they're not letting us in, come get us. So that way, if it was illegal, we'd have an out. We could say, oh, our boss says to go meet him in the front lobby or something like that. So our story was that we were assistants for Jeff, the Spotify, the producer of the Spotify Live pre-show interviews, and that we had to bring him his lighting case and his camera case because we were carrying around the case for my big filming light that I'm using now and my case for my camera, and they were like really big. So we had like a bunch of equipment with us, it looked like, and we thought that that definitely helped us look more professional. So we go up to the lady and we say, hey, we are with press, Spotify, pre-show interviews, can we bring this in? And she was like, actually you have to go around to this front desk. So we go around and we get into the room with all of the like fans, I guess, like the little kids, like the 13-year-olds that are waiting in line to get in, and we definitely stand out because we have all this stuff on us, people are staring at us, and they're pretty much letting us go through any line, cut in front of anyone, do anything, because you can tell that we're not fans, we have a nice press pass and we're carrying a bunch of stuff. There was a lot of confusion about where we were supposed to go, we went to a bunch of people, blah, 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 and we end up just going like this, saying press, 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 and we pass through this entire line of probably like 2,000 people waiting in line to get into the venue because it is about an hour before the show starts. They weren't letting people in yet. So we get in, we get it to the front of the line, and there are 2 security guards standing there, and we say, hey press, can we get through with Spotify? And they say, sure, go on ahead. At this point, I am internally freaking out because I have successfully infiltrated the hardest part of security that you have to get by to get into the concert. In my head, I'm like, I am in. So the entrance that we just happened to be going in on was for the nosebleed seats, really high up in the air. And once we got in, me and my roommate were feeling a little cocky. So while the 2 opening bands were playing, because we didn't have really any interest in seeing them, we were only there for Panic, we went into the bathroom and we just sat there. We didn't want to sit in seats for as long as possible because it is a sold out show. So any seats we sat in would be someone's seats. Halfway through the second opening act's like performance and set list, we decide that we should go and sit down in seats because Panic is going to be coming on soon. So we choose, I think we were in section like 302 on like the 3rd level up in the nosebleeds, but we were in the 2nd row from the front of the balcony. So we're there and we're sitting there and the band is almost done playing. People are slowly piling in more because they're getting ready for Panic, and that's what most people were there for. That's what people were there for. They were there to see Panic, not the opening band. So we're getting super nervous at this point because we're like, oh my god, what happens if the people whose seats we're sitting in come? And then guess what happened? The security guard that was standing at the front checking people's tickets, he checked someone's tickets that was looking for their seat. Luckily for us, this guy was super old and he didn't speak properly, and he pulled us out of our seats and he said something along the lines of, oh, when people do this, it ruins it for everyone. And then I was like, oh, wait, is this not section 307? And he was like, no, it's 302. And we were like, oh, sorry. And we scattered off into a random hallway, in which then we ran into a group of security because the hallway that we were going to was to get into the 2nd level and the private boxes. So we run into these people and they're like, oh, are you guys lost? And we're like, yeah, we're just looking for our manager. We had these around our neck, so they saw that we weren't just like normal people, and we had all of our equipment with us, and they were like, yeah, we're just looking for our boss, Jeff, Spotify, pre-show interviews, blah, 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 blah. We need to go pack up the equipment and stuff. And they were like, okay, yeah, we'll call the head of whatever press and management over here and they can help you. And we were like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And because if they came, they would obviously know that Spotify isn't even hosting anything at this event, and we would be caught and probably thrown out before we even saw Panic. So the people are coming. My roommate is the one that wanted to go down this hallway, and I can see it in her eyes. She's thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna make it so that Sammie does not see Panic. Oh my god, I'm a terrible friend. And I'm just in shock. I'm like, well, this is it. Out of the blue, Monique grabs her phone and pulls it out and goes, hello. And I'm looking at her like, who are you answering? And she steps aside. She steps aside and is like, oh, this is our boss. He just called. He says he's meeting for us at our seats and that they're on the 3rd floor. Which way do we get there? And then as they pointed, they were like, this way through this hallway. And as we were walking, the head of like staff and press management like passed us, and they were like, oh, there they are. And they were like, oh, never mind, we're good. And then we just walked by it. It was like, and we were like, we're free. We go and we find some seats that are empty, and like there are a lot of seats empty around us because this is kind of like a photo op, like press sitting area that we get into, and we take a seat and we enjoy the entire show. And that is how I snuck into a Panic at the Disco concert. Unless it's illegal, then I totally didn't do that, and that whole story was a lie. I totally do not recommend that anyone do this because you could get in serious trouble, and I don't think that it is ever worth it, even though this was like so worth it. So if you want me to do more story times, then please give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to check out my vlog from the Panic concert, it is linked on the screen here as well as in the description. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys! Mwah.